people are asked to point out one thing that makes downtown Champaign unique, they often answer the outdoor seating. With over 1,100 outdoor seats throughout downtown Champaign, visitors are sure to find just the right spot. On a perfect summer night, you will find that all these seats translate into one vibrant district. It hasn't always been this way. Starting in the late 90s, city planners began undertaking a series of improvements designed to enhance this outdoor experience. Streets such as Taylor Street were closed, and over time, over 200 tables filled the space. Today, those plans continue with sidewalks and plazas being expanded every year and more outdoor dining opportunities created. Gordon, tell us about some of the products you carry here.
Well, some of the brands that I've bought for the store, usually I'll buy American-made product whenever I can find it, because I think we need to get back to buying American-made product. So we carry like Hart, Schaffner & Mark suits that are made here in the States. We carry the John Barbados shirts, which are a slim fit shirt that is made here in the United States. We carry the Barbara Blank ties, as well as the Ike Bahar and the Ted Baker ties that are all three of those ties are made here in the United States. But we do have some great things in our suits. Our suits are, like I said, the Hart, Schaffner & Marks. We have the Austin Reed. We have the Eisenberg suits, Sam Malone, and that's in regular suits, as well as the slim fit suits. And the slim fit suits are really big. Slim fit in general is a really big thing right now. The younger guys are coming in and they're just loving it, and they're telling us that they're finding our slim fit suits at a better price than they find elsewhere. And we do only all wool suits, so we don't do any polyester. Now, some of our sport coats will have some polyester sometimes, or there's several that are in our summer sport coats that are wool and silk, which all of our wool silk summer sport coats are 25% off right now. And we have a select group of suits that are $149, $169, $179, or $189, regularly $350 and up.
And Gordon, tell us about the pictures on the outside.
Well, we were trying to decide what to do on the second floor windows, and so we have some pictures of the store several years back, and then we have a picture of Mr. Roberts, who is the weatherman on WCIA, and there were several pictures of him trying on hats. He loved hats, and he would come in here and shop. And then on the other side of the balcony window, there's a picture of a young man in a suit. A couple years ago, after we had it put up, we had a contest on if somebody could come in and tell us who that was. And finally somebody came in and told us that it was Red Grange, which is the old football player from the mid-1920s at the U of I. There's really nothing like downtown. I mean, people just don't realize, with all of the restaurants and bars and unique shops, that if they don't come in and just check it out, they're missing out. They're really missing out.
I'm now here at Big Grove Tavern, and I'm going to go inside and speak with Chef Jessica and find out what's up with this new restaurant. I'm now here at Big Grove Restaurant, and I'm with head chef Jessica, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the history of Big Grove. I understand you're pretty new to the downtown area.
That's correct. We opened up in May. We're a farm-to-table restaurant, so we use local purveyors and local farms in as much of our menu as we can. So we started off with just dinner in May, and we started doing lunches at the beginning of June. So we're really excited about the reception we've had from the community.
Tell us about some of the signature dishes that you guys have.
We make a really great burger. We do everything on the plate in-house, so we make the buns from scratch, we make the meat mixture from scratch, and it's a little bit different because we use beef, bison, and pork in the burger, so it gives it a really nice, full flavor. We also have a mac and cheese, which is available vegetarian or with bacon, and that's always on the menu.
And Chef Jessica, please tell us about farm to table. What does that mean?
Well, farm to table is an idea that you're going to take local purveyors, so local farmers, local dairies, local breweries, and use local ingredients to get the food to the table to guests when it's at its height. So food that travels far tends to have to get picked when it's less ripe. If something's coming from nearby, you can pick it when it's ready to go, when it's at its most full ripe, and it tastes better, it's got more nutrition, and it also helps support the community.
And give us a little background on yourself as a chef.
I moved out here at the very end of December. My husband has a position at the university that brought us out here, but I was a chef in San Francisco and the Bay Area for the last 14 years. So working with local farms is something that's very pervasive through that community, and hopefully we can bring a little bit of that to this area.
And how's Champaign been treating you since you've been here?
Well, it's kind of nice to be in a small community. Having moved out here from San Francisco, it's kind of nice to not have the hustle and bustle and actually be able to go to the farmers market and meet the farmers whose products we're using. In San Francisco, there were a lot of middlemen in between the local small farms and the restaurants, and here I actually have met most of the farmers whose products we use and have had the opportunity to go to their farms and see what they're growing.
Excellent. Do you think we could go in the back and check it out?
Sure, let's go.
We're now back in the kitchen, and Chef Jessica is going to show us how she prepares her seasonal deviled eggs.
So everyone's familiar with deviled eggs. They're something that happens at picnics and barbecues throughout the Midwest. Ours is a little different because we like to change up the flavor so it stays seasonal. So our late summer, early fall deviled egg has a roasted pepper base. And the sauce on the bottom of the plate is a romesco. Romescos are red pepper sauces that are thickened with nuts and bread. They have sort of a Spanish background. Ours is made with gypsy peppers from Blue Moon Farm in Urbana. And everything in the kitchen should be seasoned, so we always do a little bit of salt and pepper. And then the yolk filling for the egg is a pimentone yolk. So pimentone is also known as smoky paprika, and it has a really nice, almost like a meaty bacony flavor, but it's vegetarian. So we're just gonna fill the yolk mixture in. It's the cooked egg yolks with a little bit of sour cream for creaminess and the pimentone. And then the eggs are just gonna sit right on that romesco. They get seasoned with a little bit of coarse sea salt. And then these are banana peppers that we pickle in-house. They come from Meyer Produce in Villa Grove. And I pick these up every Saturday at the farmer's market. And they come in all sorts of different little colors. And we just do a real simple, quick pickle on those. And finish it with a little bit of cilantro. That's gonna give it some fresh herbiness. And it's also just a nice little pop of color on the plate. And that's seasonal deviled eggs.
Today I'm here with the manager of Legends, Tracy Herbert, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the history of Legends itself.
We opened up 15 years ago. It was right around the time Campustown was getting ready to be rejuvenated with the Boneyard project. And there was a facility here at the time that had been here for a long time that was famous for its fish sandwich. And so when Legends opened up, we made it one of our priorities to have the best fish sandwich in the area, and we did that. And for the last 15 years, we've tried to satisfy the student population, also the local faculty, and then the local business people around town. And I think we've done a pretty good job doing that.
Definitely. And tell us, I know that there's tons of artifacts around Legends. Tell us about some of those.
Well, when we decided on the name Legends, the name came first, and then the owners thought it would be a great idea to feature some of their heroes from growing up in this area. And so we have pictures of the most famous sports figures from the 50s and 60s. We have added a couple. The last one was Lou Henson. And then we also have Red Grange's, one of his football jerseys. The Edelman family was nice enough to donate Dyke Edelman's Letterman sweater, and there's a nice picture with Dyke wearing the Letterman sweater.
And other than the fish sandwich, what are some other specialty items you guys have here?
Well, we very quickly realized we couldn't rely just on the fish being a 1 or 2 day a week item. So we made the conscious decision to kick up quality over what at that time you'd normally consider bar food, which was a lot of deep fried greasy appetizers. So we went 2 notches up, used all high quality ingredients, and over the years, actually, the fish sandwich is a very minor part of our menu. We sell 3-to-1 burgers over fish, and lots of salads, wraps, steak sandwiches, various other items.
Great. And for some of those party animals out there, what are some specialty nights that you have as far as the bar is concerned?
Well, Monday is a great night. It's we call it Beer Lovers Night, and every single beer we have is on sale. So you can, if you want to sample different things, that's a good night to come in. We feature over 50 beers, which is not very common for a campus bar, I don't think. Tuesday night we have an event that's geared more towards the grad students than the townspeople, called Ride the Rail, and the people come in and sample all the drafts. On Wednesday night we have School of Beer. We go through our entire beer bottle selection. Spring break we have the Corona and the Red Stripe, and that's a big night. And then really there's something going on every night. We try to have something exciting and fun going on 7 days a week.
And Tracy, Legends is just a huge place. You've got bench seating tables, indoor, outdoor seating, pool tables. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when we were under construction and we were coming up with our mission statement, a few of the things that we thought were important was to create a place that was classy and nice, that there was great opportunities for people watching, that we'd keep the music at a level where people can have a nice conversation without feeling like they had to yell, and where somebody could always find a seat. As we were talking about this to some of the salesmen and the so-called professionals in town, people said we were crazy. You can't build a nice place on campus, that the town people wouldn't come down to it, first of all, and second of all, the students would just tear it up. And I think that we've proved them all wrong, and I think we've grown with the community, and we've grown with Green Street, and we're still here and we're still going strong.
I'm here with Sue, the University Chimes Master, and she's going to tell us a little bit about where we are today.
We're at the University Chimes Tower, actually, Chime Tower, I should say. It's in Altgeld Hall, one of the older buildings on campus. The building was built in 1897 as the University Library, but the tower was built here at the same time. The building was built. It stood empty for many years until the classes of 14 through 21 decided it was time to put bells in the tower. So they could come up with money for 15 bells. 15 bells is what it takes to play Illinois Loyalty, which is our main school song, which was actually composed in 1907, and it seemed like a logical starting point for the chimes here. So the chimes have been in here since 1920, and in 1921 the automatic system was put in, which actually plays the Westminster chime every quarter hour, and in a few moments you'll probably be hearing the 3/4 time on that.
Now, Sue, tell us, how long have you been playing the bells?
Well, I've been playing a very long time. I came to campus as a grad student in 1966, and I started playing a carillon over at the University Lutheran Church in 1968, and I thought, oh, there are bells over on campus. I should come over and see what they're like. So I've been playing these bells since 1971. I'm in my 42nd year at this point. But we have lots of students who come through here every year. Oh, I shouldn't say lots, maybe half a dozen students who pick up on it, and they play a lot of our concerts. And we have a practice keyboard over there, so we welcome people, including you, to try your hand at it if you want to do so. In fact, you can do it on the playing keyboard here, too, if you want to, because we don't have any classes right now.
Oh, I might have to take you up on that.
Okay. In fact, you could do it right now. Push it in.
When people mention the Boneyard Creek, the first question that comes to mind is, how did it get that name? That can be a challenging question, depending on who you ask. Most notable historians will say the name comes from animal bones left along its banks by the Potawatomi tribes as the first settlers reached the area in the 1830s. Some, however, will tell you it stems from such student myths of freshmen going in and never coming out. In reality, the Boneyard is what's left over from when the swampland that we sit on today was finally drained. In the early part of the 20th century, efforts were made by University President Edmund James to change the name of the creek to Silver Creek. President James had a vested interest in this topic since the increasingly polluted creek ran right through his backyard at Green and Wright Street. Silver Creek never stuck and Boneyard lived on. Over the years, the Boneyard has been both an entertaining student attraction and a thorn in Progress's side. Until the late 1990s and early 2000s, Campustown would flood with any major rain event. These floods slowed growth and damaged existing businesses. However, with improvements like the Boneyard's 2nd Street Basin, flooding is no longer a threat to Campustown and the district is booming. Whatever the name, the cities of Champaign and Urbana have grown up along its banks, and now after 160 years is finally getting its moment to shine. I'm now here at Minecci's, and I'm going to go inside and speak to owner Rob Meister about the history of the restaurant, and we might even be able to sample some of the authentic Italian cuisine while we're here. I'm now here with owner Rob Meister, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the history of Minecci's and what it means here in Champaign. Rob, tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Minecci's is a staple, as a lot of businesses are in this area, that it has a lot of culture, it has a big backstory, it has a lot of twists and turns on how it's been able to stay in business for 30 years. And it's been an absolute pleasure for the past 4 years to try to carry that flag for the Minecci family, who still lives locally, still does so much for the community. And really, on a day-to-day basis, I just hope that I make them proud.
So when did you obtain the Minecci name?
Well, about April of 2008, me and Joe started to kind of seriously talk about whether or not we would be able to do a transition. So I came in and started doing a managerial role for them to try to learn how they did things specifically here. I had managed restaurants before, but I wanted to do it the Minecci way. So I spent a couple months here learning and eating, which was a big part of it. And then after we officially bought it in June that year, the Minecci family was willing to stay on afterwards just to try to make sure that the transition was successful. We remodeled our interior, tried to take out a couple walls, make things more spacious and inviting, but still keep a traditional feel. And then we did things that are more current consumer with, Facebook and Twitter, and updating our website, trying to offer digital coupons, things that just kind of brought the restaurant up to the level that other restaurants are.
Is there any specific nights that are specialty nights that people should know about when coming to Minecci's?
Well, I would say just about any night could be special, but I think honestly some of the weekend nights that we have, like a lot of places, Minecci's could be busy just like any other restaurant, but we keep things in a formal, calm, quiet, secluded kind of place like this because it can take me 10 minutes to say hi to every single person that's sitting down. And I think that's the biggest difference that we provide, is that the servers like to get to know the customers, the cooks like to get to know, they will come out and ask people how their food was. I try to say hi, bye, or ask someone how their meal was to every person that comes in. And I think that personal touch that we all try to bring together is really what makes a difference.
I understand that you've been coming to this restaurant since you were a kid. Can you give us a little history of that?
Yes, very much so. I'm kind of a Minecci child. Like a lot of people in town, I'm part Italian by digestion, by how much food I've eaten over the years. I started to come here primarily because my father, who's a general contractor, he was the one that the Minecci's recruited to turn this into a restaurant. So as business was done back in those days, which I really admire, is a lot of things was just done on a handshake and a smile. And as the Minecci's were trying to get through their first couple of years, they offered my dad, hey, you've got 2 boys already, you're planning on making more, maybe you should just eat off some of that work. And my dad said, that's a great idea. So me and my 4 brothers came in here almost weekly for a very long time. And that's where I really started to develop a passion for the restaurant industry, the service industry, the idea of taking care of people, and also just that independent small business atmosphere that you try to offer a wink and a smile to everybody you can. Joe always did such a great job of that, and I admired him for it. It's one of those unique things to carry on somebody else's namesake And every day when I wake up and every day before I go to sleep, I always ask if I've done everything to make them happy.
Well, thanks so much, Rob, and I understand you're going to take us back in the kitchen and show us what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to. I'll take you back there. I'll make an appetizer for you. You can see what we do here.
Great. Rob and I are now back in the kitchen, and why don't you show us what you had prepared for us?
Sure. I had my kitchen staff make up a tostini appetizer. Why don't you go ahead and give it a try? And I'll start telling people that it's a very traditional Italian appetizer. It's got a Sicilian flair to it because that's where the Menacci's are originally from. So it's the traditional tostini bread with a mixture of tomatoes and olives that it has the usual garlic, olive oil, fresh basil, a little bit of vinegar to taste. Everything an Italian dish should be.
Rob, it's absolutely delicious, and I want to thank you for having us today, and I certainly encourage everybody to come by and try it out for yourself.